Ciao.
It's the pedal pushers.
It's the PPPers. Triple P. The Triple P.
No, that's what we are.
We're the Triple P, man.
This is episode
22, I think.
22?
I think so. I didn't write that down. Normally, I try to.
Yeah, your format's different.
I know. I typed something else up, and then I used that page, and then now it's all different. Is this fine? You want me to retype
This is fine.
You gonna be all right?
I'm Zach.
I'm Matthew. What's up, YouTubers?
We are Mythos Pedals making podcasts.
Yeah.
People need to know that in case they come to us organically.
Yes. We make pedals. We sell pedals. And
this is all just one big ruse to
just to sell pedals.
We just like talking. Really, that's it. Well, he likes talking.
I mean, I do talk a lot.
Yeah. People comment on that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Who comments on that?
I don't know. There'll be one on this one, I'm sure.
I talk a lot. I try to talk over you as much as possible.
Yeah, I know.
Because people need to listen to what I have to say.
Pay attention to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's great. That's why I hired you.
I fill up all the space.
That's right.
And Larry's getting larger. All right. What are we talking about today? This is an extra special episode.
This is extra special because I'm doing something.
I'm shocked that this is happening. I'm shocked, folks, that this is finally happening.
I mentioned this before, but there's that scene in Dark Knight where the guy says, "I'm going to do what you should have did a long time ago." I'm making a pedal board.
Whoa!
Like for me.
I'm just like I feel kind of weightless. I feel the blood is rushing to my head. I'm gonna
novel concept for a guitar player.
You're a guitar player
to make
you're
pedal
a pedal
board for himself.
builder, and you do not own a proper pedal board.
Well, I own them, but I don't have one that is
they're around
solely designated for
your personal.
For me. There's probably like an empty one in here somewhere.
Well, you've got boards all over the place, and
yeah.
we use them for trade shows and stuff like that. But
yes,
this will be
this will be
the day we're going to put together a real board so you can use it.
Well,
okay, we'll go.
Hold on, we're both putting together.
Okay, yeah. So that's I'm putting a new one together. I'd like to think that my incessant yammering about my build has inspired you to build one for yourself.
Or either inspired me or you've twisted my arm enough to make me forcibly do it.
I think it'll be quality content for our viewers.
Yeah.
No. I pulled my board apart a while ago, and I've had a lot of ideas, and we'll get to that. But I've been ready to build something proper for a little bit now that I've got the amp and everything all dialed in. Mm-hmm. And then we'd been talking about what I was going to do, and then. Yeah. Now it's time to talk about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, it would be a great show. We'll just talk to them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm going to document the process of me building this board. And
yes.
we have yet to decide how
the format
this will go. But your first point on here is why now?
Yes.
Why?
So we're making a pedal board. Why now, Zach? What's the main reason? Why now?
Because, I get asked about it. Every Friday, I do my AMA Fridays, and people always say, "What's on your board?" And I'm like, I don't really have. I have pedal boards, but they're all for trade shows and stuff.
Yes.
So I need to do it. And as YouTube is growing, and I'm wanting to get back into playing guitar more for fun, and for myself, and for YouTube, I need to have a board that represents all of my tastes and has all the stuff on it that I would actually use. And not that I wouldn't use like a Mythos show board.
Of course.
But having, we make a lot of drive pedals and, it would be a bit much to have everything on there.
And it's fair to say that there are other pedals out there that are useful that we don't make.
Yeah, of course.
And stuff that like categories that we don't even do that you would like to use.
Yet.
Is it great? And so, do you plan on gigging this? Are we gonna see Zach Broyles out there, TT Zop,
the Zach Broyles experience,
sitting in, doing some stuff out there?
I don't know. I mean, like, there's never been a moment where I thought if someone called me, I wouldn't be able to throw some pedals on a board and not make it work.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able to go to the Underdog if Corey said, "Hey, come play," or whoever.
Yeah.
And Not that I have tunes.
Would that be so to be a little broader with it, would that be is that part of your goal is to do that, or is it all purpose? Like, do you want to be able to gig this? Do you want to just have something that's going to be fun for you to plug in at work or at home? Like, what would be like the ultimate goal for you?
I think for me, it's just having something that I can, having something set up permanent, well, semi-permanent. I'm not a big fan of bolting things down and making everything permanent. But that, just all the creative tools that I normally use, because I used to have a pedal board that I played every day. I would go home and play, and I kind of miss having that. So having it here or taking it home would be nice. I mean, we've talked a lot about my home rig experience and stuff, but so mostly it'd be here. And then if I were to get a gig, like in the planning, it's what would I actually want and what would I actually use. And that's kind of where we're going with this.
Cool.
But what about you? Because your board is going to be mine's a bit more ambitious in scale.
It is. But I think that you are a real guitar player.
I'm an ambitious guy.
I think that what you're doing, I think it makes a lot of sense. And to be fair, I think for both of us, we want something a little bit like elevated than what we've been dealing with for a while now.
Yeah, I think I need to grow up in my pedal board.
And for me, my main motivation is I found the amp that I really like.
For now.
Well, that's how it works. Everything is for now, right? I'm going to finish my pedal board soon. I'm going to build it, and it'll be done.
It's done.
Right? We all know that's not how it works. No more pedals, no more amps, no more guitars. We're lying to ourselves. There'll always be more. But I feel pretty good about my sound, and I've been thinking about how it's going to get set up. I have a Benson, Nathan Jr. at home, and now I have the Cali Tweed. And my original idea was to do 2 separate boards, but I realized the amps were similar enough, and I would have so many pedals that would cross over. It didn't really make much sense. So I was like, well, man, let me build one board and really do it right.
Go for it.
Really, really do it right. Something that's going to be my core sound. I've been playing with a lot of stuff since I got the amp and rotating just about everything through everything I own. I brought all my pedals from home. I got my office is a mess. Right? It's a mess.
Mine's pretty messy too. You just can't see
I got pedals everywhere. And so the goal is to just tighten it up so the playing experience is tight.
Yeah,
right? Everything's there. I want something I can easily switch between the 2 amps. I can take it home, quickly set up. I'm not spending an hour in there. I got to take a break. I've got to be able to be playing guitar as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah.
On breaks and during lunch and all that stuff. So the goal, and maybe I've been playing a lot. That there could be. I would love to get into a real band one day. Mm-hmm. I haven't played live since 2017. I think it is.
You get in that father-in-law community band.
I mean, I should. Yeah, my father-in-law plays in the community band. They rip.
Angels we have.
Yeah, I went to their Christmas concert and I was like, they need some shredding. They do. Or me dressed up as Santa Claus slam dunking because it was in a church gymnasium.
Yeah.
I thought maybe at the end I could dress as Santa and jump off a trampoline and slam dunk.
Yeah.
I think everybody would really enjoy that.
Break the backboard.
Oh yeah, I do Vince Carter where he dunks it and he puts his elbow in the hoop and hangs there. Whoa, a little bit there, a little bit extra. Sorry, everybody.
Your shoulder would get dislocated.
If Vince Carter didn't look it up. He's
the athlete's shoulder did not get
dislocated. You mean one of the greatest athletes in the history of our sport. Yes, maybe me, Tubbalub, Timmons would probably have a problem with it.
But I reach behind me in the car, and then my back doesn't work right for a week.
Oh, I know. It's not good.
Like doing this? You ever do that?
When I was younger, I used to do certain things, and I would do them. I would hop over something. I go, and someone would kind of look at me funny. I say, I have to do this now because one day I won't be able to. Mm-hmm. Today is one day.
Yeah, now
it's
is
one
that
day. Now is one day. But I want something as versatile as possible. Something that is clean. It's set up exactly how I want. Obviously, things change. We'll get to that. But I would like it to be the ultimate representation of me.
Oh.
And what I like. And, I want something to show off a little bit.
How many Altoid 10s are you going to have on?
Huh? How many 210s?
How many Altoid 10s are you going to have on?
0. I hate Altoid 10s on board.
What if it was a 10?
Hate them.
What if
my thing.
It was
it's fine if you like that, not my thing.
It was a Tim that was just had it looked like a package of Slim Jims.
I mean, if it shot them up to me, Like if I press the button on the pedal board and it shot a Slim Jim up and I could just catch it
like
and snap into it.
R2D2 shooting Luke's lightsaber.
Which I love that scene way more than you do. But
I like that scene.
It's my favorite scene in all of Star Wars.
Yeah. I like the scene.
But if it shoots it up.
I don't like Jabba's palace. I think that's a little goofy. Anyway,
we digress.
Pedal Pushers After Dark.
That's another podcast. So, yes. And I have not had a put together board like that. Like I've had my big board for a while, but I never like cinched it down. Like I always like everything was on and off. It was never, the cable lengths weren't correct. I've never finished it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like where you're like, okay, I might change a pedal tomorrow, but today it's done.
Do
you know? Like there's a difference, right, people?
Like
the difference between having a board and it having to be done.
Yeah. Well, I'm always like so nervous to do anything like with like cables.
Yeah.
Like to make it just so.
Yeah.
Because especially with the route I'm going for this new pedal board.
Fancy.
I'm nervous about making cables too
perfect.
Yeah, too perfect, because then you're like, oh wait, that won't fit anything else unless it's that same size.
Well, so should we do? I kind of want to hit two things. I wanted to go dive into what our ideas are for what the board's actually going to be. Yeah. I also want to go a little bit of history of your relationship with pedal boards. And which one do you want to do first?
Let's do the history first. I think that's
perfect. So
it's on the paper.
I know. I thought so. It was my creative decision to go in that order. I just wanted to see if it was working for you.
Sure. Oh, it's working, baby.
It's working. Let's go. Okay. So what was your first like real board? Like how early on did you say like I got to put something together that's like useful? Like when did you start thinking about it and doing that?
Well, so my first pedal board, like actual, like honest to God pedal board.
Yeah.
I started playing guitar when I was 15. I was probably 16 or 17. Mm-hmm. And there it is.
There it is. Right
I don't know if I've mentioned on this or maybe on Dipped in Tone, but I started working when I was like 14. So my dad was like, "You're gonna work after school," and then every day during the summer is like, "Cool." So while all my friends was off having fun, I was working, but also had a little disposable income, so I could buy the things I wanted. Mm-hmm. So I bought an SKB molded pedal board. Do you remember those that came in the bag?
I wanted one so bad.
Yeah, the
back
SKB
in the day, man.
8. It had the 8 little things on the back and the red LED, and it had like the handle, piece of carpet on it. And I mean that was, oh gosh, okay, so that was.
I remember staring at that thing in the Musician's Friend catalog.
That was probably 2000. Maybe 2000, 2001?
In the year 2000. Can you hit that note?
Yeah, I can, but I'm not going to on this.
Man, I tried.
But on it, my first pedals were, I had the standard Crybaby Wah, the GCB. I can't remember the Crybaby model numbers. The standard Crybaby Wah.
Yeah.
I had an Ibanez Smashbox. And then I had a Digitech multi-effect that had, it was like one of the RP series that had like blue, like kind of rectangular push buttons.
Mm-hmm. Trying to remember that thing. I'm sure I'd recognize it if I saw it.
You would absolutely, because everyone had like the little 2. It had like 2. It was like the update to the Zoom 505.
Okay.
It was like that. But the Digitech one, it had the same sort of thing, but I had one that had like 3-foot switches and then a wah built in. And that was all Velcroed down to that board.
Yes.
And I don't even think the Digitech, I don't even know if it worked off the power. I might have had to have its own power brick. Yeah. But I used that for a while. And then that board was my board for ages.
Yeah.
I mean, years and years. But honestly, that's before... I mean, I didn't know about isolated power or...
Why would you?
I mean, the only thing you could get back then was, I guess, a Voodoo Lab, a pedal power.
DC Brick, baby.
Those weren't isolated.
Oh, right.
The originals were not isolated.
Mine was... I still have my original, which we'll get to when I talk about
They will
mine.
blow up your clone like that. But yeah, I used that for ages. And then I guess really probably into college... Mm-hmm. Maybe after I moved to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, I was playing in bands, and I bought a normal pedal train and used that for ages. And then I got my pinnacle of guitar pedal boredom was one of the gigantic pedal trains that it looked like a guitar case. It was huge. And I had a DL4, a DD20.
Say some minus the bear stuff.
It was minus the bear, Mars Volta.
Yep, 100%.
All those sort of bands were
you had to rock it.
And so I was super into that. And I had, Boss, like a circuit bit and Boss flanger. I had a tremolo. I had a Big Muff, a Soul Bender, a Tube Screamer, a Rat. I had everything.
All the classics.
Everything. A wah. So, but that was kind of where I got the real bug for guitar pedals.
Yeah, and sort of when did it sort of
calm down?
Yeah, well, when did it because I'm sure that some of our viewers / listeners have had a consistent pedal board the entire time in some form or another, where it's it's tear it down, you build it back up. Maybe you went rack for a little while. Maybe you did Bradshaw switching. You did MIDI. I'm just listing. I'm trying to remember all my father's eras of stuff.
I think most folks our age and younger are a bit too young for that.
But I think there's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different iterations you can go through. So when did you when was the last time you had what you would say was a cohesive board that was put together for you? When was the last time you had one?
Probably.
Where did it all go wrong?
2014.
Okay. It's been that long. Huh?
Yeah. Wow.
It's 10 years. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I've thrown together boards now and again, but that's the last time I was really consistently gigging.
Yeah, because by then you were working on Mythos and then Carter's, right?
Well, it was right before I moved to town because I was in a cover band, and we played every weekend or every other weekend.
And you need a board with lots of sounds if you're in a cover band.
Well, I was the opposite.
Okay.
Of that idea. Okay. I was very much by that point. I was so focused on.
I know my sound.
Yeah, I wanted my sound, which was a big loud amp. I was using a Z-Rec or the Maz, or I played mostly all Dr. Z's back then, and Les Pauls, and then I would have a couple gain, Univibe, and delays, and I wouldn't even have a pedal tuner. I would use a clip-on tuner in between sets if I needed it, and then I would put it on my mic stand or clip it onto the handle of my amp, because I said I only have so much power down here. I can't allocate anymore for a tuner when my guitars would stay in tune. But that was really the last sort of iterations of pedal boards, and I had that pedal train. I guess it was the junior or whatever. It might have even been before that existed. It was it had a number.
Yeah, they've
PT1
they've
or
had
2.
so many different iterations over the years.
I had that for the longest time, and then I used a mini one, and that was it. And for the most part, after I kind of got out of my experimental, weird phases of guitar playing, not that there's anything wrong with that, and I really focused on getting better at guitar, I took a lot of things away because I felt like I was putting obstacles in the path of me becoming a better musician.
Okay.
At least that was my philosophy back then, and still kind of is in a way.
I think that if you look at our pedal lineup, you would agree with me.
Yeah,
that's how we approach things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what about you?
Well, for me,
you started later.
I started later. I didn't start playing guitar until I was 20. I played bass and drums first.
What was your bass pedal board like?
I did not own a pedal.
Did you have a Sans amp?
No, I didn't have.
Oh man, everybody had a Sans amp.
No, I mean I played bass mostly at home, plugged into stuff. I think I did a couple
stuff, not a bass amp, just toaster, television.
Plug it into the fridge, man. That thing hums, bro. Get that Aunt Justice for All bass tone.
The tone is frozen.
Trapped under ice. No, but then I played drums, and then I finally started playing guitar. It was about 2000, and then I started kind of looking around for pedals. 2021, 2022, and by the time I had collected a few things.
2001,
2002. Sorry about that. Sorry. It's
math.
Trying the aughts and the tens is my brain don't like it. It's hard to it's easy to
That wasn't that long ago.
Oh shit. The 80s and the 90s. Now it's the what?
Yeah.
The what, the what, and the what?
Yeah.
So I think my first pedal, I got a TU2 Classic. Still have it. It's in my office right now.
Still works.
Still works. And then I got a Digitech delay. I got the exotic AC booster.
Was it a hard line or what was the Digitech?
I can't even remember.
Was it the one with like the metal?
And it was like
colored?
silver. It was silver and it had like the reverse delay on it. It had like I think there was 7 different things.
Those were good.
They were good. I'm pretty sure Devin still has it. I think it's still on the fam.
Of course he does.
Unless he might have sold it. I don't know. I can't remember.
Rat bastard.
And then I'm trying to remember the other stuff. I might have had a few of it. I bought the T-Swa, which I have in my office right now. And eventually I accumulated a few things, and Pops had moved away. I was still living in California. He moved up to Washington, and he told me, he said, send me all your pedals. I'm going to build you a real board.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say build you a real board, he like went to Home Depot and built it.
He didn't steal like a road sign and then like Velcroed it to that.
No, he like bought.
That's what my friends did.
He bought the wood and bought like the everything, spray painted it, built riser, bought me a DC brick. That's what he used, and like built like a real board where like the cable lengths and then like all the ties, like everything was perfect.
Yeah.
And it was. I remember him. It was like my Christmas present, and he sent it back to me, and I had like. Literally a custom homemade board because he'd done the exact same thing for himself.
That's awesome.
Which is super cool. So that was my main board forever. Like I just used that thing. The problem with it was if you wanted to change anything, you can't because everything was like you literally had to like
unless it was the same
exact thing
output jack location.
Yeah, because you had to like cut the cable ties to like because the plugs are
Yeah.
It was kind of difficult to deal with. But that's what happens. Like you build something like that was that perfect. It was wonderful. It was a commitment, and it was wonderful, and it's what I used for a long time. So then, like, what kind of happened was over the years, it kind of just fell apart. Not my dad's craftsmanship, but just the board because it was harder and harder.
The idea of that board
to use it as things would change, and after I'd be like, oh, I'm not using this anymore. I'm going to buy this, and I kind of like in the late 2000s. That's right, the late 2000s. 2027, 2020, guys, I can't even say
2027.
It's 2007.
I mean, technically, we're still in the late 2000s,
we're in the future.
Right?
I don't know. If you ask me what year it is, it's just 2006 in my head.
Oh,
not a good year for you?
No, it's okay.
But I like in that era, 2006, 2007, I wasn't really buying much, like pedal wise. I wasn't really thinking about it. This is sort of it was like the first like big jump of like, exotic and full tone. I had a full tone 2 on my board. I think my dad put a wah on my board.
Oh, a full drive 2?
A full drive 2. I had a rat.
Oh.
I had like, there was lots of stuff going on, but eventually it kind of fell apart and I didn't really like get back into pedals until JHS and Earthquaker, and that era stuff.
Right.
But that was it. Like once that board kind of fell apart at that time, like I didn't really put a real board together. I still haven't.
Do you have?
Since then.
This isn't on your sheet because I just thought of it. Do you have any fond like pedal combinations or tones that you got from boards back in the day that you miss? Because I can think of one.
Okay.
For myself, but I didn't know if you could think of any.
Not that I can remember. The only like real like. I think a lot of it was like I'm starting out and I'm trying to do this at the same time. So
right.
I look back and I'm like, man, I didn't know anything. I just tried to hold on for dear life. The only thing I really remember is two things specifically is that the AC booster sounds incredible with the Carmen Ghia, right?
Well, to be fair, the Carmen Ghia sounds great with anything.
And I remember trying every single overdrive pedal known to man.
Yeah.
And that was the best one. I bought that one. And I always loved that. And then I could never, ever, ever, ever figure out the rat. Like I wanted it on my board so badly because it was the coolest, but I could never figure out how to use that thing.
Well,
I want to dive into it again. I've like never figured out how to use the
I'll
rat.
bring my fancy one home one day. Yeah. But that's ironic because one of my favorite sounds I ever had.
Oh, there you go.
I was in the throes of modding pedals. I don't know if I'd made a Mythos pedal officially yet, but I modded a Boss Blues Driver. I did the Keeley mods and then did more stuff, just tweaking it. And then I modded a rat, an old rat that I modded Oh, it had 2 switches on the face, and like it had a bunch of stuff. I sold it. Shouldn't have sold it. It's very stupid. It sounded really good. It was an old one too.
So it's out there. Somebody could be listing a Mythos modded rat pedal.
I mean, honestly, if anyone has any old pedals that I modded, like prior to like 2010, please email me because I would buy them back. I would love to have something like that. But I use that with a modded Boss DD3.
Wow.
And I used that for when I was like doing Gilmore type stuff because you had this pushed blues driver thing with this fiery rat going into it, and then the Boss DD3 had like the analog high cut mod that everyone did. But I loved those 3 together, and I played Strats into.
Excuse me.
I think that's back when I was playing a PV Classic, which looking back, like it was a good tone, but I hated that amp.
Wow.
I know I'm in the minority on that one, but yeah. So okay.
Yeah. So it's been like I've had a pedal train for 5 years now, but never really, like I said, finished it. But it was a big gap. It was like a 12-year gap.
It was pretty really standard. You had like a pretty standard setup over at the old shop, at the Novo shop.
But it wasn't like done. It was like kind of sparse, and it was like...
I felt like the top row was done, and then the bottom row was...
It was all... I was pulling stuff off all the time, and I'd always have like stuff like hanging off of it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm trying to, as we'll get into next, trying to be a little more profesh.
Yeah.
It's time to be profesh.
Well, yeah, I'm going deeper than I ever thought I would go.
And I think that we're making up for lost time. It's time. This is us saying we've ignored it too long. Let's be real. Let's be adults here, and let's put together an Instagram board that people will be very jealous of.
Likes and hearts.
I want people going
thumbs up.
Look at those guys! What a bunch of nerds!
What a bunch of douchebags!
Well, probably
mine's going to be like that.
I'm going to be like this guy. This guy. Oh, look at this guy's board. Look at this guy.
But to be fair, we have the major advantage of being really good friends with a lot of people in the industry who can help us.
Which is very nice.
Yes, and we appreciate that. And we'll talk about that.
Yes. So why don't you start off like your board build? What's the sort of like what's the core of what you're going for? Be as detailed as you want.
So basically, I want to take all of Zach's greatest hits.
Zach's greatest hits.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
My initials sound like a radio station too, so I don't know if you know that. You know my initials, right? WRZB.
WRZB.
I want all of the pedals that I adore, like the highlights, right? To be on this board that gives me ultimate flexibility for the sounds that truly exist in my head, and that's kind of it. This is not an experimentation. This is not a exploratory board. This is just these are my sounds.
This is not sophomore year of college.
No.
You're ready to rock.
No, this is senior year of college. You're ready to get the hell out of there.
No more exploring.
D means diploma. So it is that. So this pedal board, hopefully, is going to consist of a Mythos fuzz of some sort. Because I'm
not decided yet.
We're not fully decided because I am bound by the outputs of something that we'll get to at the end here. I'm going to have a tube screamer of some sort. I just repaired the jack on my TS10 back there.
Is it in the shot?
It's the middle one on the rack there. I've got my 808.
Sorry, I got lots of.
I got my 808, the 9, or the 10 and the 9 back there. Which, well, they should be the other way around, shouldn't they? Anyway, for whatever reason, I always think the TS9 looks. The TS10 looks like it's older than the 9. The 9 looks more refined, but in fact, it's the other way around, obviously. But for whatever reason, I don't know why I put
like the difference between RoboCop and RoboCop 3.
He's more blue in RoboCop 3.
Yeah, it looks like starts looking like what is this is
looks like a Silverhawk. But anyway, I'm going to have some tube screamer. I'll have my Klon.
Yes.
I will have the Fates. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have the Jam Retro Vibe.
Yeah.
I will have the Boss RE202.
Cool.
The big Space Echo. Mm-hmm. I will have an Oracle.
Yes.
I will have some wah somewhere on the outside of the board.
Yeah.
A tuner.
Cool.
My Peterson strobe tuner. And then all of that is going to be living on the big mono. I think they call it a rail or.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not the flat one. It's not the one that's all got all the weird punched out holes. It's just, it looks like a pedal train, but it's flatter underneath, which I like. And then the brain of the pedal board,
let's go,
is going to be the Gig Rig G3 S Atom with the scribble strips.
You are going big time, brother.
I'm going big time. I talked to Dan. We had a lovely conversation the other day. He is, I love both Dan and Mick. I've spent more time talking to Mick. And I've spent more time around Mick. He's just always, he's been here more times, and I've spent more time with him and than I have Dan. But Dan is, we're very kindred spirits, the makers, creatives in doing things. But he's like, I think this will work great. We're gonna do one of the big power supplies, the Gen X 14, and I'm just going for it. I'm gonna go a full whack, and it'll have a little. Patch bay that I will dual lock underneath the bottom there and have all my ins and outs and stuff on the front. And I don't know what cables I'm going to use. Okay, that's the last thing.
Okay.
Because I'm still not decided on the format. So I don't know. But all of this is kind of the antithesis of everything I'd ever say I'd do. Because I always said, I'm never going to have a big switcher.
I know.
I'm never going to do all this. But you know what? I never thought I would have a Kirk Hammett guitar.
That is correct.
And here I am. So I have two.
Okay. So what is the, like, we talked a little bit about your motivation at the beginning. So what is the, like, if you say, like, if all the time you said you'd never do that, like, what changed in your head? Like, what's the main thing that changed in your head to say, like, you know what, I am going to go for this?
I'm just really curious about it. I think more than anything. I've never done it.
Yeah.
But a big part of it was playing with Jeff's Quartermaster.
Same.
And that was like, okay. I obviously I've seen the Gig Rig stuff. I've known Dan and Joey and all the people who use it.
Yep.
But I don't know. I just thought, you know what? I have so much stuff here that I should try to take full advantage of it. And I want to do my best to use that thing to control the tap on all the pedals. Because of the complexity of that thing, I'll have my effects loop hookups if I want them for, the Two Rocks or even the Soldano, or I guess pretty much everything in here has, well, except for the PRS, has an effects loop.
Yeah.
So I'll have all that flexibility, which I truly love using an effects loop. I never do because it's just cumbersome. But I dive into the deep end of everything else in my life.
You do.
Like literally everything else.
We had that conversation earlier today.
Yeah.
We walked into your office and you were just deep diving, just hardcore nerding on Fallout.
Yeah.
Because the new trailer came out.
Yes.
And I'm like, I just appreciate that. And that's why we're such good friends. Because that's how we are about everything that we like.
Yeah.
And neither of us had taken that step with our pedal boards.
No.
And now that we have, we're both like going to be insane about it.
Yeah.
We will be insufferable about it.
Well, I don't think it's going to be quite that bad. But even still, it's just, I want to have some big brain thing that can control a pretty safe pedal board, but I want to use it to do order switching. I like the idea of being able to flip flop inputs and set up, like here's a push and it turns all these things on. I've never done it. And I think let's just go for it. And honestly, I think a part of it too is it's behind that guitar case right there, the HX Stomp. Yeah, having the snapshots in the plugins or in the patches. I've never messed with it, and then when I have messed with it, I'm like, oh, that's neat. It changes all the stuff at once. Because
who would have thought?
I know I was always the guy that's like, I don't need that. Look, tick 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 tick.
Yes,
but I don't know. That's kind of silly.
So I have a few questions.
Yeah.
And I think I need to ask this one right away.
Uh-huh.
And it's the one that I asked you right away when I showed it to you.
Yeah.
You're going to put the Klon on the board.
Oh, yeah.
And
Klon on board.
So two questions. Number one, that's an expensive piece of machinery to stick on there. And two, you make a Klon.
Yeah.
So people will ask this. So we're just going to talk about it right now. What is your thought process to use the Klon, which is, a very expensive guy over, say, the Wildwood Mjolnir or one of the other Mjolnirs? Like, what is your thought process as a business owner and as a guitar player. That's a lot of stuff going on at once trying to make a decision like that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a business gamble to not use this or any. There's a normal Mjolnir back here too.
Yeah.
To use any of the permutations of Mjolnir, I don't know. I think most other people would say, "Oh, it's stupid not to use
the thing that we're trying to sell."
But I bought that Klon, and I play it. A lot, but not that much. And if it was on a board, I would just get more enjoyment out of it. Because it's not about, this board is not about me selling Mythos stuff. It's about me making music with the things that I've collected and spent years either honing myself, all the Oracle and the Fates took a lot of time and love and energy. But it's about me, utilizing all these things I've collected and want to have as some sort of complete thought as to this is what my sound would be if given the opportunity to make a board like this. And I've never really taken the chance. There's never been a reason other than I just didn't feel like it. But now I really want to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's a bit silly to not have a Mjolnir on there.
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of reasons, the Klon's expensive. The Klon will cost as much as everything else on the board, if not more so. It takes up more space. It's more difficult to power. Literally everything about it is more cumbersome. But it's a Klon, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. Why would you not? If someone was like, "Hey, you're going to go to this gig. It's completely safe. There's nothing to worry about. You can bring anything you want. There's security." Would you say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to bring my Epiphone and my, practice amp," or, "Well, I'm going to bring my 59 Les Paul and my, vintage blues breaker"? You're like, "Well, I'll take all the nice stuff."
Oh, sure.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
No, and I totally get that. And I'm thinking about it like we are going to be using these videos and people are going to see them on the official channel. So people are going to ask that question.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a legitimate one, and I understand your reasoning. I think you should put both of them on there because you never know when that would be really cool. So we could sell both. But it's like if you're doing it and you're saying it is a little bit of an unattainable pedal for people. So if they can buy the Wildwood if the Klons aren't available or they can't. Who can afford one?
And who's to say that it's not? And to be fair, I bought it,
a while ago,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, not a long time ago. To be fair, who's to say it's going to stay on there? Because how I want to lay this board out is not going to be I'm not going to zip tie everything in place so that if something can change, or if I want to change something, I can.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see about that. But
cool.
But yeah, it's. I could make pretty much a whole board with all our stuff and be happy, but I don't know if I was doing that and I was using it and the Klon was just collecting dust in my den. Why have it?
No,
Right?
that makes sense to me. Yeah,
I don't know.
What was that?
My nose. I'm still
You
snotty.
need some Flonase, bro.
I just used some.
You just hit that Flonase. All right. Well, last thing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do?
You haven't talked about your board. We're getting there. Okay.
We'll get there. It was just your boards. We just laid it all out. Are you going to do, because we want to do a video of your board build. Are you going to do a series as it's progressing, or are you going to do one video? What do you think?
I don't know. I think I need to ask people what they think. Honestly, the board's ordered. I've emailed Dan. They're making all the stuff. He said the Atom. Everything else is pretty much quick to get out, but the big stuff, it's a little slower to turn those. He said they'll get it out, for me, but it'll take a little time. Mm-hmm. I have all the pedals. The only thing I don't have a complete plan on is the cables.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is do you think I need to? I feel like it makes sense to make a series if I'm piecemealing it and it's going to take a long time. But if it's all going to show up and it's just going to be sitting here,
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if it's necessary to to spread it out too much. I feel like if I make a good concise video, like building it, giving samples, showing my process,
that's good.
Then I think that'd be good.
Let people.
But leave a comment and let us know what you think. Maybe we'll make a poll on the Spotify for this.
How much of this are you willing to watch?
Do you care about this? Yes, no.
You are watching this right now, so there you go.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe you're not watching it.
Maybe we're talking to the void.
Oh, so tell us about your
Now
pedalboard.
we're definitely going to be talking to the void because everybody just checked right out. Hi, Mom. So I'm going with a gig rig setup as well.
You are.
I'm going to shoot for somewhere around 50 to 100 pounds. No, I'm kidding. I'm tap dancing.
Oh, man.
No. I'm going to do
levels, Jerry.
I'm going to do a Quartermaster 8.
Yeah, that's big.
I've got a pedal train Novo 24.
Novo. You can't escape it.
Can't escape it. I know. And I'm going to do, the front strip right there is just going to be a Quartermaster 8. And I'm going to put as many pedals as I can get on that board.
Oh, yeah.
And just run them in there. And the big idea for me was literally Jeff, again, has his Quartermaster, and my dad has one.
Yeah.
And since my dad moved here and I'm over there at the house and checking out his stuff, and, Jeff, talking to him about his setup, and Jeff's a gigging musician, so everything he's doing has to work for, he's over in Europe for 3 weeks gigging this thing.
Yeah. Let's give a shout out to Jeff's band, the Banditos.
Oh, yeah.
So go give them a follow.
Let's do it.
The Banditos.
Banditos.
Nashville,
Tennessee. And so I was like, I just cornered Jeff one day and said, Jeff, talk to me. Tell me all of the reasons why you like this thing. And, when he explained it to me, I was like, I never thought about doing anything like that. I'm like, what do I need all that stuff for?
Yeah.
What do I need anything for? Just put it on there.
What do I need anything for?
What do I need anything for, Jerry? No, you stick it on the board with some Velcro, and then you pull it off if you don't want it anymore. But I'm ready to commit. And I really like the idea of being able to put the pedals in any order that I want on the board itself.
Oh, right.
Physically.
Yeah.
And like being able to do the flippy thing that it does, where you could set some up so where you can turn them on and it'll turn other stuff off, which I think is really cool. And I thought it would be clean. Like there are certain pedals that I'm not going to turn on that much, and I can, hide them underneath if you want to. I like the versatility. It felt like it would be a way for me to sort of dive into this and be a little serious about it, to have like a something that would hold the entire board together.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of this? How am I going to approach this? And if I have a system where I already have a power supply that's got 12 slots on it, I've got everything is ready to go. I just need it to coalesce.
Yeah.
And I think the Quartermaster was the way to go. And the biggest thing is that I'm going to build it with my dad. And that was my first board, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I get to go hang out in his garage, and we're going to have all the pedals everywhere. We're going to have cables everywhere, and we're going to get fried chicken at Publix. And
say what snacks.
Fried chicken at Publix and chocolate chip cookies. Oh. And we're going to put it together, and it's a bonding thing, and it's going to be wonderful. And that's the main thing. The board is cool, but hanging out with my dad is the coolest. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot one of the pedals that's going on my board.
Oh, right. The Flint. I didn't even talk about.
And you've got to talk about yours, because you have one feature that you've mentioned on wanting on a pedal board since I met you, I think.
That I need to do?
Yes.
What is it? I don't even know.
Yes, you know.
What is it?
Your audition spot.
Oh, right.
So tell the fine people what's going to go on the board.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk too much. I get so excited. I get excited. So what's going to go on my board is the locks right now is the Hephaestus, the Argo, the 210, the Fates, and the Oracle.
Oh, man, Mythos.
I know. Those are the locks. Those are the locks, right? Then I want to get a tuner. I want to get a...
Not going to use the Boss tuner?
I think I want something new. I want to buy stuff.
Well, the beauty of...
I want to get a Strobo 2000 or
sure,
something.
okay. Yeah. You're going to be like, I hate this thing.
Something I'm that far out of tune. Now, I want to get something nice. Flint? Oh, that's a lock. Yeah, Flint. How many pedals are we have the same on our boards then?
Like half of
them. I know. Well, Mythos, the Flint. I want to have I think I'm going to do a second delay, which probably will be the Caroline Megabyte. What else do I have that I'm going to put on there? I want to have another fun modulation pedal. So phaser, flanger, univibe, something like that.
I said he should get a whammy.
I'm going to have a wah off the board, same as you. It's such a nerd. It's like the same thing. And then I know we have very similar tastes in a lot of ways, so it makes sense that we'll have a lot of crossover.
You're putting a wall off the board for you is going to be a bear.
No,
because of having the quartermaster and then having the ends through the patch bay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay,
we'll figure it out. I could put it on the board.
You could.
I could put it on the board. I could figure it out.
It's like you're playing on the monitor. I don't like walls on a board.
We'll figure it out. And then I want another. I'll probably put another drive pedal on there. Something what I would classify as classy or adult. Because like everything I have right now is like the Hephaestus and the Argo and the 210, and so they're all sort of a little fuzzy and a little gnarly.
You need a soft clipper.
That's that's the technical term. I need a soft, probably a Herculean.
No, I'll get something different.
Why?
You can mix up. You can add the Herculean.
More Mythos.
That could be. You can put that in later. But like I don't know. Like I feel like you need to explore something different.
What's wrong with the Herculean?
Nothing. It's a beautiful pedal.
So just put a tube screamer right there?
Maybe. I think the tube screamer sounds sick with your amp.
It really does.
You can't have one of mine.
You've got so many. Why can't I have one?
Those are mine.
Okay. So I want the first row of the board to be all drive or fuzz pedals, which I've talked about before. That's what I like. And then,
but if you have the looper, it doesn't matter.
But I kind of like...
You could like turn them each... What if you just made it as stressful for people to look at as possible?
The board?
Yeah, like it's like they're turned like horizontal,
everything
vertical,
is like in weird
45
spots.
degrees. Yeah,
yeah. I meant more like not necessarily, but I want that much. Like I don't know. I'll put it. It'll make sense. It'll make sense when I'm done. But I'm excited about this because I want something that I will be finished with, and I'll never have to deal with this ever again.
Until you change something.
Until I change something.
What power supply are you getting?
I've got the True Tone.
CS12.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be fine.
I think it's going to work. I looked at all the stuff.
Because you have to power the quartermaster.
I do. Yeah.
And then so you only have 11 spots.
Oh yeah. How many pedals did I name?
I don't know, like 14.
I mean, I'll figure it out.
Batteries.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think
batteries.
The cool thing about using the gig rig stuff is like there's so many ways to like distribute power. And I've heard people moan about that system, but it is smart in how it breaks everything out. You can really do a whole lot with what Dan has.
What do they moan about?
Well, it's like you have to like clip it in, and like it's a little more complicated than your average power supply situation. Got it. But I don't know. There's kind of a beauty in how it's going to be. Like I'm looking forward to having something a bit more curated with power, because that's one thing. It's like there's a thing with patch cables where if you change pedals and it goes from a side jack to a top mount jack, the cable won't fit if you made it specific.
Yes.
But the power supply, you can kind of hide a lot of the crimes of the lengths of stuff underneath, and it should be able to make it look nice and pretty. But I'm curious how I'm gonna route everything. That to me is like the biggest unknown, because I talked to Rhett about this. Okay. Rhett Shaw, the YouTuber, he plays guitar too, and he has a pedal board. And he was like, "Just take it to XTS." I'm like, "No, like I get that, but I want to do it."
Yes, I mean that. Like
this is part of the journey.
Yeah, that's what. Like I said, like the most fun about this for me is going to my dad's.
Yeah,
and doing this in the garage and figuring it out. Like that's the biggest reason.
Until it doesn't work or something, and you're both like, "Ah!"
Oh my god!
You'll get it to work.
We only need 5. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I want to put like the patch bay in the back.
You only need 5.
And so I want everything to be running off of that on a snake, and then it just goes out.
You want a snake?
I'm gonna snake it.
You're gonna make a snake?
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna make a snake.
Dang. Yeah. Well, I might hit up Gil at Divine Noise. He's making all my cables now. I was a big proponent of like make your own cables, and then every time I would make a cable, it just it would die, or like some of them still work great, but it's just like making cables kind of sucks. Like it's not hard. It's just if you mess it up the slightest bit, they don't work.
Yeah. And I do want mine to be versatile too. Like I don't want to I don't want to zip tie down every single cable run to the point to oblivion. I want it to look neat above, but I want it to be versatile. Oh yeah, and the audition loop. I want to have an audition loop in mind So I'll have the send and return for the guitar. I'll have the effects loop so I can run the flint and maybe the second delay into the effects loop. And I want to have an audition loop so I can plug in any pedal I want to try out with my stuff, like right on there. And I'll have a dedicated switch on the Quartermaster for it. Mm-hmm. That way, you don't have to, because that's been my biggest problem. Like if you remember coming over to my office before when I had the board, that first pedal was always off the board. So I had room to kind of plug things in, and it was a mess. I didn't like that. So I'm going to put an audition loop in mine. So I can try a bunch of stuff out.
And the beauty of that too is that I was just thinking about this. We don't have to. You can put it anywhere.
Yeah,
it doesn't even have to be at the top. You could have the loop thing. And I just had an idea.
Oh,
like we could even have a box that has like the power jack. I can't.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah,
have a power jack where we could have it plug in one side, and then so you could have your power supply under the pedal board or wherever. Mm-hmm. You send a power to the little junction box, and then there's another out on the other side. So all you have to do is have another little pigtail. So you don't have to have one crazy long cable.
To audition the
And then you could just plug it in if you don't need it, unplug it, and then have the thing. And you could have it on the side of the board and have that looped in. Yeah. Man, I am pretty clever, aren't I?
There you go. I love it. So this is going to be fun.
I think so.
I'm really
hope
excited about it. I think that. So what I had this on this. What was it like so far? What's been the toughest decision for you as far as like
what size pedal board to get?
Yeah, that's been the hardest thing.
And what brand pedal board to get?
Yeah,
because there's so many types, and they all have their pros and cons. Mm-hmm. But for me, I've always used Pedal Train. Mm-hmm. I've never liked how on the bottom there's like a vertical bit that comes down. That if you use like a pedal power or a Chox or something, like sometimes they fit just fine. Mm-hmm. But that is kind of an impediment to like putting things wherever you want. So the reason I went with the mono that's kind of similar to the Pedal Train is because that's not there.
Cool.
And if I wanted to, I can put a lot of stuff under the board. Like I can put the patch bay under the board and have it because there's like a spot, and I can have all that coming out the back. I just feel like it's going to add a little bit of flexibility and keep a cleanliness, because that's the one thing that I want. I want this thing to look clean. And honestly, there's a part of me that is worried I'm going to get this and I'm going to hate the way it looks once I get everything put on there. But, we can use this pedal board for Mythos stuff, no problem. Mm-hmm. But I have this fear that once I get the gig rig and then the mono, and I mean, the mono might be here like tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then all the pedals on it, I'm going to lay it down and start like laying cables out just to see, like, do I route them underneath? Do they need to go on top? Yeah. I might hate it. And I might want to go, there's a couple companies, there's one in town called like Hellwig Design.
I've seen those.
And, they're more expensive, but it would be a little cleaner look. I just don't know. But honestly, there's one thing that I've seen a lot of people do where they take a Pedal Train or that sort of slat board, and then they make a topper.
Okay.
And they put that down on the top and they screw it in, because you could just screw it and I've threaded things before. It's aluminum. I could thread it, use like machine screws, bolt it down, and then if I ever need to change it, just take it off and unscrew it and change it and make a new one. But I don't know if that's something I want to do. But I can make it with like a lightweight MDF. Paint it. I'm good at painting things. I don't know. It's just a thought. I don't really know what the right way to go is, but I think there's enough flexibility where I'm going to be able to get it done. So we'll see.
We shall see. Exciting.
I hope so.
Well, I hope people thought this was fascinating.
I do too.
I'm really excited to do this. I think this will be a fun journey. My tone journey. I sat down with a legal pad and wrote tone journey at the top. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And then I wrote out everything I wanted. My wife thought it was hilarious. She's like, that's adorable. It says tone journey up there. I'm like, that's what I'm on right now.
She has made a vision board of some sort or another. So
I've never been happier with my gear and my guitar playing. This is like my reward for finally taking this seriously.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at this.
I want to teach you some pinch harmonics so we can get your squeal on.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Squeal.
All right. Closing thoughts. We good? Whatever,
I think we're good.
Yeah. What did we miss? Anything else that we should have on our boards? Any tips and tricks? Have you been looking at other boards lately?
Mm-hmm.
You've been checking out stuff. I've been following a few more accounts. I've been doing some looking, seeing some stuff,
getting some inspo.
Yeah. Do you have any inspo for this as far as the visuals? Like, are you going to pick pedals based on like some color combinations or some variety? Are you doing anything like that?
Just sonic, like
all sonic.
Yeah, it's like what fits.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. The Klon's going to be the star. That and the gig rig are like the star of the show.
There you go. Once people see those, they'll be like, this guy's a douche.
Yeah, look at this guy.
Look at this
look
guy.
Look at Mr. Deep Pocket Pedalboard over here.
I bet you this guy can't play.
Right, yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you think. Like, tell us about your pedalboard journey down there. We might post about it on our Patreon. Don't forget to go check out the Patreon for Mythos Pedals. It's all free.
Yeah.
For now, we might add a tier that's like $1 or something, so I can give him access because right now you can only have one user.
Yeah, and we might have more content if I could log in.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, this is like, I'm the worst. I'm literally the worst about having new ideas because I'm constantly like, we should do this, we could do this, we could do that, and it's like, when am I gonna have enough time to do that or anyone else?
I know.
So, but.
Yeah, I like I was saying, I've got the Fates, and I've got a Flint, and I've got the Oracle. What other modulation do I need on my board? What should I put on my board?
The Wiggler.
The Wiggler.
The Wiggler. No, don't. They're not very good.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Go to High Strung Merch, and you can get a patent applied for hoodie. We have these on mythospedals.com.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Ciao.